we ready?
Whenever you're ready.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the regular meeting of Mayor and Council for the Borough of Glassboro for April 12th, 2022 to order. Karen, could you please read the opening statement?
Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, I hereby announce that adequate notice of this meeting, as required by said act, has been provided by adopting a schedule of regular meetings for the year 2022, which schedule was posted on the Borough Hall Bulletin Board, as well as the Borough website, and forwarded to both the South Jersey Times and the Sentinel of Gloucester County, and filed with the Borough Clerk on January 7th, 2022.
Thank you. Can we all rise and salute the flag, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Karen, could you do roll call, please?
Mayor Wallace?
Here.
Mr. Cossabone?
Present.
Mr. D'Alessandro?
Here.
Mr. Fiola?
Here.
Mr. Halter?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Here.
Mrs. Spence?
Here.
Mr. Melandro?
Here.
Mr. Creation?
Here.
And Mr. Brunemer. Mr. Brunemer is here.
We have no public hearing, so at this time I'll turn the meeting over to our Borough Solicitor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Today we have the introduction of the 2022 municipal budget, Resolution 121-22, resolution for the approval of the 2022 municipal budget in the Borough of Glassboro. This is the first reading. We have a motion.
Yes, Mayor, if I may, I'm happy to announce that for this year's municipal budget, there is a zero increase in the tax rate. The tax rate on the borough taxes will not be increased. This is for the 5th time out of the last 6 years that there is no increase. There will be a second reading and a public hearing on May 10th, at the May 10th meeting, and hopefully at that time this zero increase budget will be passed. So I will make that motion.
I will second it.
Very nice. We have a motion and a second. Karen, roll call, please.
Mr. Cossabone?
That's definitely yes.
Mr. D'Alessandro?
Four.
Mr. Fiola?
Four.
Mr. Halter?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Four.
Mrs. Spence?
Yes.
Motion carries. At this time, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of March 8th, 2022, as well as the closed executive session of March 8th, 2022.
Make that motion, Mayor.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Karen, I believe we have some communications.
Yes, Mayor. We have one communication. I have a letter of retirement from Carol Truman, who was a crossing guard here, actually still is a crossing guard here at the Borough of Glassboro for 26 years. She will be retiring July 1st of 2022.
Do we need a motion for that?
You kind of.
Yeah, I'd like to make that motion, and I would like to thank her for 26 years of service to the Borough of Glassboro.
I'll second that.
And I have a motion and a second. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. We'll move to committee reports and begin with Council President Costello.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'd just like the council to know I'm in receipt of the March monthly report from the Glassboro Police Department. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Councilman D'Alessandro.
Yes, Mayor, I'd just like to note that I'm in receipt of the monthly trash recycling report from the Highway Department.
Thank you very much, sir. Councilman Fiola.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. As you know, we just passed a resolution for approval of the municipal budget with a 0% increase. I would just like to thank two people, especially our administrator, Ed Melandro, and our chief financial officer, Karen Passioni, for the work they do throughout the year to handle the budget responsibly, both on the revenue side and on the expense side, to make this budget possible. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much, sir. Councilman Halter.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. I am in receipt of the monthly water and sewer report. Everything seems to be in order there. And again, I'll second Councilman Viola's remarks about the Finance Department administration. Thanks for all the hard work done on the Finance Committee and the budget. And also, in addition, I mentioned last time we met here that the fire department is hosting their 125th anniversary celebration. That's going to be coming up in the next couple of weeks on Saturday, May the 14th. There will be a parade and festivities of lots of fire trucks, starting with the fire department, going throughout areas of town, and then ending back at Town Square. It's 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday the 14th.
Thank you very much, sir. Councilwoman Miller.
Good evening. I just want to mention as a reminder that the Park and Recreation has their annual golf tournament being held June the 10th at Valley Brook Country Club. This year, for the first time, we're going to be offering tennis lessons for adults. We have both beginner and advanced sessions, and also we will have the lessons for the children again this year. And that's about all that I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Councilwoman Spence.
Thank you, Mayor. I just was in receipt of the March construction report. I'm very pleased to see such a marked increase from last year. It's indicative of the resurgence of the construction projects that are happening in Glassboro. And we're coming out of the pandemic and resuming our continuation of the growth of this town. I'm really excited to see that.
Thank you very much. We have no unfinished business. We'll move into new business. Karen, please.
Yes, Mayor, I am looking for approval for 2 facilities use as well as street closure applications. One is for the Memorial Day Parade, and the other one is for, actually, there are several dates for 4th Friday summer movie nights, in the park.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. This time I'll ask for the engineer's report, please, Mark.
Just a real brief update, we processing the contracts to council approved last Thursday for Charles III. We'll be getting those out, get that processed. We have everything done for Charles III Phase 2 done, coordinating with the Doubletree condos, where their entrance is. We have some sidewalks, handicap ramps have to be modified, and we have to extend beyond our right of way, so we have to get a letter from them to acknowledge that as part of our DOT application. Other than that, the package is ready to go. And basically everything's still moving. High Street's just moving houses at this point. They have 4 up, and they have at least 3 other ones already approved for grading. So we'll see that progresses. I know they were targeting beginning of April for their first units, and I know it's not quite there. So that should be happening in the next couple of weeks for those. Lincoln Boulevard still over on Ellis Street, still moving ahead. The water parts are supposed to be here at the end of May. So we're going to be cutting it close this summer to get that one wrapped up. And Camelot's also moving ahead with Phase 3. As you can see the improvements there. We have had meetings on Friday afternoons with the developer and his attorney trying to wrap things up on Phase 2, which is the 30 townhouses across the street. Right now, it's pretty much down just to Sandy Zeller at the planning board is looking over the HOA docs to make sure they're all in place. Once that's in place, then they can proceed with finalizing their approval for that. So they'll start working up there. Hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, you'll see dirt moving over there too. That's all I have at this time.
Thank you,
And
Mark.
thank you for the golf tournament. So looking for any volunteer, anybody wants to play. So.
I'm fine.
Thank you, Mark. Any other questions for Mark? Any questions for Mark? Very nice. Okay, at this time, we'll again turn the meeting over to our borough solicitor.
Thank you, Mayor. We have just a few resolutions for you on the consent agenda this evening. All items on the consent agenda are considered routine by the Borough Council and will be enacted in one motion in the form listed. There will be no separate discussion of these items if discussion is desired. That item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. Tonight we have Resolution 122-22, a resolution authorizing a refund of tax payment overpayments for Block 197.03/Lot 3 in the amount of $451.16. Resolution 123-22 has been pulled from the agenda. Resolution 124-22, resolution authorizing refund of tax payment upon the request of the tax collector for Robert J. Mintz and Susan M. Mintz in the amount of $789.13. And Resolution 125-22, Resolution authorizing execution of a quitclaim deed for block 53, lots 20 and 21 in the Borough of Glassboro. That's for 150 South Academy Street, Unit A.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor and a second. Karen, roll call, please.
Mr. Cosper?
Yes.
Mr. D'Alessandro?
Four.
Mr. Fiola?
Four.
Mr. Halter?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Four.
Mrs. Spence?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I also have one ordinance for first reading this evening. That's ordinance 22-13. Bond ordinance authorizing the acquisition of various pieces of capital equipment and completion of various capital improvements and for the Borough of Glassboro, County of Gloucester, New Jersey, appropriating the sum of $2,150,000 therefore, authorizing the issuance of general obligation bond or bonds in anticipation notes of the Borough of Glassboro, County of Gloucester, New Jersey, in the aggregate principal amount of up to $1,852,500, making certain determinations and covenants, and authorizing certain related actions in connection with the foregoing, and that is for various general capital expenses. Proposed public hearing for that ordinance will be on May 10th, 2022.
Motion to approve?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Karen, roll call, please.
Mr. Cosper?
Yes.
Mr. D'Alessandro?
Four.
Mr. Fiola?
Four.
Mr. Halter?
Four.
Ms. Miller?
Four.
Mrs. Spence?
Four.
Motion carries. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to open the meeting up to the public.
Move the public portion be open?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. The floor is now open to anyone from the public who wishes to come forward and address mayor and council.
Blessed evening, everyone. My name is Gwen Rowland, Glassboro Estates, 205 Kentucky Avenue, Glassboro, New Jersey. Okay? I was wondering what is happening on Martin Luther King Drive in Ellsworth section of town. I see some trucks out there. I was wondering what's going on in that area. What project is happening?
As far as I know, Ms. Roll, Mark,
About the thing I think of is the Atlantic City Electric may be running their power lines over to the landfill area when they're gonna be putting a solar field back on the other side of the church, this summer. They may just
They're
be
gonna
running
be putting
some
what back there?
solar field on top of the landfill behind the church.
Okay, and
Yeah.
that's just the electric company,
Yeah,
Glassboro has nothing to do with that?
for that electric line, it's just electric line. They'll be cutting about a 30-foot wide strip of trees out and bringing electric lines out from
Okay.
the woods. I'm not sure if that's the exact location, so I could drive out there tonight and take a look on my way home.
Okay, cause, I was wondering, cause nobody else seems to know, and as far as I know, the church that's sitting there owns that land. And I was wondering, I haven't heard anything from anybody.
It's just beyond it, yeah, they've done some surveying, we looked at all the deeds and everything else, so they'll be doing it beyond the property, that work that's gonna be cleared will be on borough ground.
Okay,
It's just beyond their property.
okay, thank you very much.
You bet.
Seeing no one else from the public, I make a motion to close the public portion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Public portion is now closed. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve all duly authorized bills.
Make that
Move.
motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Yeah, Mayor, let the records reflect that I abstain on PO number 22-01332. Thank you.
Any other abstentions? Abstentions been noted. Motion still carries. Any comments from our borough administrator?
I'd just like to echo some of the comments that were made up here tonight. I'd like to thank Karen and her team in regards to putting together the budget, and I'd like to thank all the department heads that helped us get to a zero tax increase for 5 out of the last 6 years. A big part of that was the appropriation side, which essentially means we're doing more with less. And I'd like to thank all of the employees, and again, I'd like to thank Karen under her leadership, giving us that zero budget. Thank you.
And I will follow up with those comments, the same, Karen, to you and your crew, to Ed, and everybody that works so diligently to help keep, on the budget, to help keep the tax increase at a zero. And to all the employees in the borough, having worked through, especially over the last 2 years, which have been pretty taxing, working with less materials, less staff, and still making things happen and helping to keep the borough thriving. I would also like to congratulate Carol Truman on her retirement for dedicating 26 years of her life to the safety of our children. And with that, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much. Have a great evening, everyone. Next meeting will be April 26, 2022, 6 p.m. Enjoy the weather, everybody. Go out and play pickleball.